I am not, oh, thank you. I'm not Christine Zarinsky, as you all know. And I would ask that your prayers be with Christine and her partner Randy today. She's unable to join us because she needs to be with him as he's dealing with some pretty serious health issues. So she sends her best and appreciates her prayers, and we'll be remembering her here in a little bit. And so with that, I will call the meeting to order. And as we get into the space, here in Minnesota, our governor has called for a moment of silence at this very time in honor of the 1-year anniversary of George Floyd's death. So we won't do the full 9 minutes and 46 seconds that he's calling for, but if you would indulge, I thought I would read a quote from a good ALDE friend, President Brian Friedrich. I see Mark Hill here somewhere at Concordia St. Paul, but I thought it was really well said. And so I'm going to read what he said, and then we're just going to observe a moment of silence. We know many people in our country, community, and at our university feel deep pain due to injustice and racism. Sin has brought conflict, hatred, and prejudice into our world. Yet we know there is one who brings us forgiveness, life, reconciliation, salvation, and unity, Jesus Christ. Thank you, everybody. I would like to ask our board member, Amy Scholes, to begin our meeting with an opening prayer. So, Amy, off to you.
Thank you, David, for those words and that time of silence on this day. As I was asked to do the prayer as we come together for the annual meeting, I thought, what a time it has been since we were at our last annual meeting in Las Vegas. How the world has changed, how our organizations have changed, how change has entered into our personal lives. And now, as we are seeing everything going back to normal, for lack of a better words, I wanted to share Psalm 5:3 with you, which says, "In the morning, Lord, you hear my voice. In the morning, I lay my requests before you and wait in expectation." We wait with open eyes, not just lifting these requests up in the air, but seeing with our own eyes how God will answer those prayers. So please join me as we pray. Lord, on this day, please be with those who do feel that deep pain. May we see forgiveness and reconciliation through your Son, Jesus Christ. I lift up ALDE, God. Thank you for continuing to bless this organization and continuing to be with us in the future. I lift up those who give to our organizations with their time, their talent, and their treasures. We thank you, God, for them. And Lord, I lift up our members. Lord, only you know what is on their hearts. Please hear their prayers, as they may be about hope, may be about trepidation, may be about thankfulness, may be about uncertainty. Whatever it is, Lord, may you grant the peace that only you can give. Be with us now as we come together. And all of God's people said, Amen.
Thank you very much, Amy. All right, so some guidance here as we get into our annual meeting. Thank you so many of you for showing up. Really, really appreciate it. We will be taking 3 votes today. One to accept the minutes, one to for our election, board election, and one to adjourn. So I'll let you decide which is most important, but Lori has set up a poll that will pop up on your screen at those times, so we don't have to flip through the screens and count hands. So look out for that. And then as you have questions, please type them into the chat. And at the end of the meeting, we will try to get to as many as possible. Those that we don't get to, or those that we don't have the answer to today, we will follow up with you. Lori is keeping a record of the chat, so we know who you are and we will come find you if we don't answer your question. So with that, I would like to invite Alice Mabray, our secretary, for the minutes of the 2019 annual meeting.
Thank you, David. The minutes from the annual meeting in 2020 were distributed yesterday along with the meeting link. So hopefully you all have those and we're able to review those. I don't think we'll take time right now to go through the minutes. Hopefully everyone has had a chance to read them. So once the time is appropriate, I would ask for a motion to accept the minutes.
Is there a motion to accept the minutes as presented if you're ready to do it?
So moved.
A second.
Second.
All right, thank you. There's a motion and a second. So Lori, if you will. I'm assuming we're all in favor, Lori, but probably shouldn't assume.
So we, yes, are tracking at 54 who have voted so far with 100% at yes.
All right, great. Thank you, Lori, and thank you, Alice. Alice, anything further from you?
I don't have anything to add. Thank you.
All right, great. Well, let's move over to John Dyes for the board member election.
All right, well, thank you. First, I wanted to thank our outgoing board members that are rotating off, Christine Zirinsky, Christine Post-Duncan, Amy Scholes, and myself. It's been quite a term. We've transitioned between executive directors and COVID, and we live to tell about it. So very thankful for these servants who have served ALDE and the profession, and we look forward to their continued involvement in other ways. I would like to present then the slate of board members as listed in the materials that you were sent ahead of time. You see their bios, their headshots, and they have agreed to serve and help lead ALDE into the 2021-22 post-COVID world that we're all looking forward to. So no need to read their names, but again, that is my report, and I'll turn it over to you, David, for the vote.
John, just if you wouldn't mind, read their names just in case somebody's not looking at it. Yeah.
You're kidding. Somebody has not read the materials that John Nelson said. All right, we shall assume. We are, both David First and Stephanie Wallenberg have agreed to a second term. And then Susan Troutman is moving from at-large to take a role as treasurer. And then we're welcoming 4 new people to the board. Michael Neverall, Brenda Moore, Christine Safrenic, and Bonnie Meyer. We're so thankful that I was able to convince them, twist arms, promise things I couldn't keep, but they have agreed to serve. So David, those are the names.
Great. Thank you, John. So, okay, that was polling results popping up. All right, thank you. So that comes as a motion from the ALDE board, and I believe requires a second from this group.
Second.
All right. So to be clear, we're voting on these board members as a slate. And Lori will pop up that motion right now.
Ta-da.
While we're waiting for the results, I want to add my gratitude to the outgoing board members as well. There has been a ton of work that this group has done. And I am really sad Christine can't be with us today. But she has just been an amazing leader in a very interesting time, as you all know. And so gonna miss having each and every one of you on the board. And so a big round of applause for the outgoing board members. So. Lori, do we have results yet? There, 100% yes. All right, congratulations, new board members. I believe you're all here. Welcome to the party. We're in for a lot of fun. So, all right, Christine Post-Duncan, we come to you for the treasurer's report.
Greetings. Happy to report that last week on May 18th, our auditor met with the board and shared that we had a clear audit and the board voted to accept it. For fiscal year ending June 30th, 2020, our expenses exceeded our revenue by $33,417. If you look in the annual report, you can see a percentage of breakdown by category of the revenue and the expenses. So even though we did have a $33,417 loss, we did receive PPP money in March of 2020. That amount was $39,200. But as of the end of the fiscal year, June 30th, those funds were still considered a liability. That money had not been forgiven by the IRS at that point. So it is reflected in the audit as a liability. Those funds were forgiven, that loan was forgiven in February. So it will be reflected on the audit for this current year, which ends next month, along with the second round of PPP funds that ALDE was able to secure for an additional $39,200. So thanks to the PPP funds and especially to the managing of expenses by the ALDE staff and the generosity of our members and donors, this current fiscal year should end up being revenue neutral. And finally, I just want to say thank you to the ALDE Finance Committee and members of the Financial Stability Task Force for all of your work during such a trying period. It's been a pleasure working with you the last 2 years. Back to you, David.
All right, thank you. And again, if you have any questions, we can come back at the end. The ALDE board has accepted the audit at our last board meeting, so that is business that's dealt with. And I echo Christine's gratitude to those of you on the Finance Committee. A lot of work has been done by that group as well, and to Christine herself. So thank you very much. Ryan Gavin, I believe we are to you for the report resources.
Great, good afternoon, everyone. Happy to be here and deliver some of our exciting news where we are with our annual fund and the campaign here. I wanted to start with a quick personal anecdote because so much has changed in the last year, but since the last time we were together, I have since joined the board, and it's been a wonderful learning opportunity, both personally and professionally. There's so many talented people within our network, and I hope that each of you tap into one another in the membership as you're furthering your career, and especially during these difficult times when there's so many limitations with budgets. This is a great way to access resources within our own community, and also a great way to find your next position, your next job, or your next board leadership position or other opportunity. So please make sure you do tap into this. I was thinking when I was just writing down a couple notes here of what to say, when I first joined the ALDE network, was my connection coming from the Catholic social services world, working for both Catholic charities in New York and then at the national office. And then I started work with Lutheran Social Services in New York City and was doing PR and fundraising there. And I got linked into this right away via, I'm sure many of you, word of mouth, like, oh, come on to this conference. And so since then we were to Chicago and Norfolk and all over the place. And it's been a really wonderful opportunity. And it's thanks to the membership and all of you for taking such an active role in making this the vibrant community that we are today. And as you know, in addition to us having our membership dues, we are also our own entity as a nonprofit. And so I have the pleasure, as all of you do in your day-to-day work, of making the pitch to ask you to continue your support to the wonderful work that we're able to do. Let's start with the best news. The goal is $30,000, and we have till June 30th to make that happen. And right now, we're just less than $6,500 away from it. Our grand total at the moment, through your generosity, is we're over $23,500 there. So if you're able to do it, we would ask you just to make a gift that you're able to do to help us get to our goal of 30,000. That helps us when we apply for our grants. It was certainly very helpful to talk about that when we were this unique year with our PPP loans and all of that, that we can say that our membership is supporting us, that we are active, and that we are able to use that as a springboard going forward. I know all of you know the drill, so you don't need to hear it from me, but I would just ask you to take your time to consider what you're able to do and make that before June 30th to help us get to our $30,000 goal. And I thank you for all that you do for ALDE every single day.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you very much. All right. Well, I have the honor of calling on Lori Brill, who you all know, but I want to say a big word of gratitude to Lori as she comes on here to do her executive director's report. She doesn't have to answer this, but I often wonder if she knew what the road had, what road had lied ahead. Would she have signed up? She has helped us navigate a lot. We are in great hands with Lori as our executive director. So Lori, a huge amount of gratitude to you, and so thankful for your leadership. I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, Dave. I really appreciate those comments. And, you know, despite the challenges, I will say that I would do it all over again. So I'm glad to be with you. Glad to see your faces and be together. We gathered together today after spending 16 months in a pandemic. And we acknowledge with certainty that challenges may indeed lead to opportunities. That is certainly what we have learned. Opportunities typically yield the need for change. And embracing change is not always easy, yet that is precisely what the ALDE board has done. ALDE partnered with Bentz Whaley Flessner to expand the compensation study to an all-member survey. Many of you participated in that survey. And I lift up that detailed work that Carol Arvidsson and Kelsey Crouch Dodson did on ALDE's behalf. It was really extraordinary. Those results revealed feedback, propelling a focus on brand and identity, member needs, fellowship, educational excellence, creative expansion of our network, mentoring, and finally, financial stability. The ALDE board began meeting monthly months ago. The executive committee began meeting monthly months ago. And we really appreciated the work also of the board diving into task force work so that we could better figure out a clear direction for ALDE's future. The ALDE board did not pause. Rather, they began to reimagine the organization that they so deeply cherish and that you so deeply cherish. I lift up the great work of those board members rotating off the board on July 1st. What a ride it has been. Christine Zurinsky, John Dyes, Amy Scholes, and Christine Post-Duncan. Your contributions have been significant, and we're so deeply grateful for your leadership. Thank you. The strategic planning process began in November of 2019. It actually began in Las Vegas at Bally's. And in the spring of 2020, we realized quickly we needed to move into a different process, a strategic choices process that Brenda Moore was instrumental in helping us lead. She facilitated and worked with us tirelessly to get to a place where we could begin making decisions based upon what we knew at that time. The dedicated work of ALDE volunteers and their passion for ALDE's mission unleashed an array of creative ways for us to remain connected as community. Member survey presentations, town halls, Friday afternoons, social hours, webinars, Zoom meetings of past presidents, of past conference chairs, past Virgil Anderson recipients, and YALDE gatherings begin to more clearly inform and empower the ALDE board. So this has been a member-driven initiative without a doubt. The Finance Committee met monthly, as Christine shared, to explore financial support. We were very blessed to receive 2 rounds of PPP funding, totaling close to $80,000. Thank you for your gifts to the ALDE Annual Fund. Thank you for your gifts to the Endowment Fund. I commend those of you who had the wisdom and the foresight to establish and promote and lead the ALDE Endowment Initiative back in 1999. We are so grateful for that important work. And we have certainly experienced significant gains in the market this year. And for that, we are also very grateful. Zoom has presented a unique opportunity for us to gather together in community. It's given me a chance to have cheat sheets. I can see your names. I can connect them with your faces. So I've had a chance to get to know more of you, which has been a blessing. We will continue to build out programming to connect and share, utilizing Zoom in the months ahead. ALDE's committee meetings are so much more engaging and alive. Our board meetings, our executive committee meetings are engaged and alive because it's just great to see one another. During this period of isolation and remote work, we could still see one another, sharing highs and lows, exploring collaborative ideas that will enable ALDE to flourish. That is our hope. That is our desire. We look forward to our virtual awards ceremony, which is going to be held on June 15th. And we certainly hope you'll be able to join us for that. Thank you for the submissions. It's been wonderful to read them and to see just what a great impact so many ALDE members have had. After surveying the ALDE membership regarding an in-person conference, as you know, we quickly realized we needed to push the Ignite conference out to 2022. And at first there was a sense of significant loss and a strong sense of disappointment. The mountaintop experience would have to be postponed. But I can assure you that plans are underway for Ignite 2022. The conference planning team is busy at work, getting ready to launch and getting ready for registration to open. It was a pleasure last week. John and I were in Milwaukee meeting with hotel conference management staff to examine capacity, safety protocol, and explore local offsite options for potential meetings. So I want to assure you that partnership opportunities and collaborations that are unique and new are being explored, and we will have more to share with you about that very soon. During the last 9 months, the board has consistently received encouragement from members to be bold, to develop affinity groups that are active. to explore new partnerships, to take risks, and to solidify ALDE's brand promise. A new simplified membership model is now in place for those who are new to ALDE or who are in transition due to the pandemic. We're implementing a new member introductory transitional membership rate of $120 per year. It is in this spirit of being welcoming that will enable us to thrive. And we hope to empower you, our members, to invite others to join. It continues to be a privilege to serve you. I lift up the great work of John Nelson, Tom McGinnis, and Bethany Crapella, and of course, the work of the board. God is leading ALDE and opening doors to a brighter future. I'm deeply thankful for the board's wild hope and steadfast commitment to ALDE's collective impact. Thank you for being with us today. Thank you for your impact. And we always desire to hear from you. So with that, I'll turn it back over to Dave.
Thank you very much, Lori. And again, if you have any questions about Lori's remarks, please use the chat. We'll come back here in a little bit. And you see, I am up for the cryptic title, an important announcement. And I guess I want to start it off with a word of gratitude to everybody on this call and those who have participated in the different town halls, volunteered in many ways over the last year. That has been a very critical feedback loop for our planning process and to really visioning where does ALDE go from here. And there's some themes that bubble to the top for the board, and Lori echoed many of them. One is we love each other. This is a family. We depend on each other in countless ways. And we really did mourn not being able to get together this last year, and we're anxious to get back together again. And it also has to be about something bigger than that. All of us are called by God to serve our various ministries to further God's work in the world. And over again, we heard from so many of you how important it is to you to do that work with excellence. A desire to, even in the midst of huge changes in our world and huge challenges, to adapt to those challenges and provide the giving experience to the donors you relate to that ties so deeply into their faith. I never got tired of hearing those sentiments echoed over and over again. And I also just loved how many times we heard, ALDE board, it's time to be bold. We got to go to the next step. And so that's what we heard from all of you. And we also took some time to take a look at the landscape, say, well, what does the world need from Christian fundraisers or a Christian fundraising organization? It was really quite interesting. We look around the marketplace in the US and even beyond in Canada and Europe, there's no really consistent place for Christian fundraisers. It's a real gap in the market. In fact, in the process of that, one of the people that we talked to made a remark. You almost always find the Christian fundraisers at another fundraising conference in a corner, trying to figure out what this all means for them. And I wonder what that means for their donors. So there is a gap that our organization is positioned beautifully to step up into. And so with all of that in mind, we also took a look at who our membership is now. we've gone beyond Lutheran a long time ago. And I think that was said in every town hall that we held. We want to be more than that. We want to be inclusive. We want more and different voices sitting at the table. The more inclusive we can be in this Christian community, the richer the experience will be for those of us who are here. And so I'm excited today to share with you that last week, the ALDE board voted to commence the process of changing our name to the Association of Christian Fundraisers. This will be the very first step in everything that we just talked about. So change in name is the start, but a lot of work lies ahead. And we need your continued engagement, your continued prayers for Lori, the rest of the leaders, and everybody who's involved to pull it off. But we really do feel like we have a very big opportunity here, and many, many more Christian fundraisers that we can invite to the table that are going to make our association even much more of a rich experience than what it is now. So I want to be clear that you won't see this quite yet. We have to go through the legal process. We have to go through all the copyright and trademark stuff that you all, some of you probably know really, really well. But we hope to have that accomplished by the time we get together in Milwaukee. So thank you so much. I'm going to stop there. And Lori, do we have any questions that we need to attend to?
So I'm seeing some comments in the chat, which you can probably see. Yes.
Yeah.
Positive feedback. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you all. I really, really do appreciate it. Doug Page still wants to be a grocery chain, so we will no longer get confused with that good German grocery store. Well, I really, again, thanks to all of you for being here today and all you've contributed to ALDE. We're looking forward to the year ahead. There's a lot more to come. Lori and the conference planning team have a lot cooking on the conference and some exciting developments that you'll be hearing about very, very soon. And so for now, make sure your membership is current and that you are responding to Brian Gavin's very generous opportunity to be a part of our annual fund this year, because so much is built upon that, everything that we're talking about is. So seeing no questions, Lori, I think we can entertain the motion to adjourn.
So moved.
So there's a motion. I thought I saw somebody waving a hand for a second to adjourn, and now you have the survey box ahead of you. I think Evan Moylan voted no. He wants to stay. So. Yes, there is an American Chestnut Foundation. Thanks, Johnny. All right, Lori, how we doing? Of course, there's 2%. Sorry, 2%. We are adjourned. Thank you all very much for
nice
coming
job,
today.
you guys.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone, for joining. It's great to see you all. And please follow up with any questions you may have at a later time, email, phone calls. We are always here to listen and to incorporate your feedback as we move forward. So thank you.
Good seeing you all.
Take care,
too.
everyone.
ACF.
How do we say ACF? You gotta go to ACF conference.
I don't know,
God bless
Johnny.
you.
Yeah, we're relying on you for that one, Johnny.
I'll work on it.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye, thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much. Appreciate you.
Hey, thank you, Matt. Where are we finding you at?
Target parking lot, Council Bluffs, Iowa.
All right.
Short big cohort up here.
Hey,
You say hi,
oh my
Joe.
gosh.
That's great.
No.
Last week of school, so Wendy got to go to a special picnic with Hattie, and Keller and I have been at the playground. How are you guys doing?
Doing really well. Doing really well.
No.
So,
Awesome.
yeah.
Well, I'll let you have the meeting after the meeting, but appreciate your efforts very much.
Hey, thanks, Matt. We're just hanging out for whoever wants to chat. I see Jim
Sounds good.
Jensen there.
I'm getting some text saying, do you like the name? I do. This is a great move. Well done.
Great. Thanks, Matt.
So it looks like
Well,
Elliot
no.
Williams is just joining. Oh,
They'll know we are Christians, Christian fundraisers by our love.
There you go. That's right. Right on, brother.
Bye-bye. Take care.
so Dave, we have a few people who are just joining. Perhaps there was time confusion, but we did record it, so they will be able to see it. So sorry. Looks like
Hey, Philip.